regarding abundance mentality as a Christian business owner and struggling with this. How do I charge, and when's enough? And how do I then, from the abundance, bless others, and all that good but very theologically difficult stuff?
Well, it is, and it's wonderful to have the visuals, but I think we can create that as we talk about it here. And it comes from the idea that many Christians have that they serve best out of an empty cup. I gave everything that I have. You know, we talk about the widow with two mites, and we use examples like that and somehow create the impression that it's most godly to have nothing myself. Well, when you really carry that out, it's pretty easy to understand. It's hard to really help people if we have nothing ourselves. And there's some examples, and the example I used was I had 3 containers and with a bottle of wine behind each one sitting on a table. So I had one very small container, about the size of a little shot glass, then one beautiful goblet sitting on top of a saucer, and then one very large container, like a trifle bowl or something. So the example is that with the very small cup, you know, I know the resources are out there, but I don't need anything myself, so I'm not even going to tap into the resources that God has made available to me. So there's no way they can flow through me to a deserving and receptive audience. They just stay out there separate from me because I don't want to taint my Christian walk by having access to the goods and opportunities and finances that are readily available. At the other end of the spectrum is the very large container where, yeah, I'm going to tap into the resources that are available to me. I'm going to put them in my own cup, but I poured the entire wine bottle in there and it was still only about half full. If my personal cup is so large that I can't fill it during the course of the week with the work that I do, something's out of balance there. There needs to be something that flows through me to others. So the cup in the middle, this is like the story of the 3 bears, I think, here, but the cup in the middle is just right. And it comes from, the example I use comes from a Jewish ceremony that happens on the evening of the Sabbath. It's called the Havdalah service. And in that, there is a goblet on top of a saucer, and they pour wine into the goblet, which I did here, until the goblet is full, and I continue to pour, and it flows over into the saucer beneath that. The symbolism is that we're going to go out into the workplace this next week, and we're going to do work with such excellence that it fills our cup, and there's abundance and abundance and abundance from which we can share with others. That's where I want to be. Now, there's some theological challenges in that we need to decide how big is our cup to be reasonably engaged with people. But the real point is, and what I find a lot of people struggling with, is they feel guilty about filling their own cup. There's a very solid theological principle there that we can't give what we don't have. The best way that I can help poor people is to not be one of them. It requires resources to make change and to bless other people. And so we need to get out of this thinking that, wow, I should have holes with shoes in the bottom. It's hard to be salt and light. It's hard to be attractive to people out there if we're struggling so that we can't even feed our own children.
Yeah. And my guess is not just struggling monetarily, but emotionally and spiritually and physically. And it's a beautiful metaphor, Dan, for all of those things in life that says we give out of the completeness of who Christ has made us to be. And if he's an artesian well of ever supplying everything, why would we not want to demonstrate it, drink of it, knowing there's plenty to flow out to other people?
Wow, you've articulated it well. There's another metaphor there with the artesian well. But yeah, we have to believe that God's resources are not in a limited quantity. Mm-hmm. It's not like a piece of pie where if I take some, there's less for Kim or Chris. It's such abundance that it regenerates itself. And money is like that. So if I make money, it's not that there's less for somebody else. My responsibility is to help other people understand how they too can tap into those unlimited resources.
Oh, good. I mean, we do serve a God who says that he's able to do immeasurably more than all we can even ask or imagine, right? According to his power that's at work in us. And he calls us to the life of following, giving ourselves away, allowing ourselves to be poured out. But he says, you give, and it'll be given to you, a good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, will be poured into your lap. And that is not just to bless our socks off. It's that I love that metaphor. When I watched you pour that wine and it went over the goblet, there was that natural internal response that says, wait, stop, you're going to spill it. And instead there's that catch basin underneath, that saucer underneath that says, no, the abundance just goes out into all of the world, continuing that good measure beyond what we could think or imagine.
You know, and one of the things there that was pointed out to me, it perhaps was you that pointed it out, is that I didn't just let it run out onto the table and spill indiscriminately.
No.
It was captured in a saucer where I still then could be the directive for how that was going to be used in an effective way. And we talked about the challenges with some nonprofits and organizations out there where the money is not used very efficiently. And we still are stewards over even that abundance. And I like that both opportunity and responsibility.